Hi everyone. So someone has written in and asked about walking bass lines on sus chords. If you have a sus chord, F7 sus or F sus or whatever for 16 bars or forever, what to do, how to get away from the boxed in walking bass lines. Now, I haven't thought about this with a great deal like I did with rhythm changes, bass lines and stuff, but there are definitely things that you can do to kind of free yourself up and avoid, like landing on certain chord tones. So the first thing I think of when I think of walking on a sus chord is this, the first tune that comes to mind is a McCoy Tyner tune called Passion Dance, and it's on his famous album, The Real McCoy. And it's a great album. Joe Henderson, Ron Carter, and Elvin Jones together. They're not on many albums together, but that's one of them. The blowing is just F sus, F7 sus. Now, in the head there's a couple of other chords, but I think in the blowing it's just open F sus. So that's a great one to get used to. Now, when I see that tune, I've actually never seen a chart of it. I just sort of listened to it on the record and picked it up and played it like that. But it's really, for my ears, it's when you listen to Ron on that, he's just playing kind of on F7. So he's playing bass lines, you know. More of an F7. So that was me. So that's how I sort of approach that. And I might have a few of those stock bass lines, you know, kind of bebop scale type things on the dominant chord. So that's my basis, F7. So I think of it as walking an F7. So the third, just because it says sus, doesn't mean the third is out of, you know, use. Now you have to be careful. Maybe there's some tunes where there's just like an 11 chord or something, and the third is not specified, and then you just have to use your ears and see whether it's minor or majory sounding. But clearly, Passion Dance is majory sounding, and you can hear McCoy in his solo. He's playing a lot of major thirds. A lot of fourth C pentatonic stuff. And then going outside, you know, F pentatonic, and then maybe, you know, sort of G flat pentatonic or E flat minor pentatonic just to play outside and then bring it back in. So it's very kind of bright sounding. So I'm really just playing on F7, and the third is totally in play all the time. So what, first of all, know the scales, you know, really get inside F7. So a lot of the times I might kind of be thinking it's just C minor Dorian too, because maybe that's I'm feeling that more on the neck. Or, you know, try any mode that gets you out of the boxes. But the thing is, you've got to kind of always aim for that F or the A or the C on those strong resolutions. So every 4 bars or definitely 8 bars, you know. You can try doing it every 2 bars, but I definitely am going to sort of walk in, say I'm going to walk in 8-bar phrases. I'm really going to feel those 8 bars, and that's a really important thing to get comfortable with, just walking on one chord but really feeling those 4 and 8-bar phrases of a new section, so you have some reference point rather than just like walking just forever and just not knowing where you are in kind of a standard form. And you could try that. Another good thing with that is playing on, like, you know, the standard 32-bar form and having a bridge, so you know where you are with the bridge, and then you play another sort of, you know, AABA form basically. So I'm going to try now, just walk on, say it's F sus, it's Passion Dance, it's the beginning of the solo, and I'm going to see what I'm going to do. But my feeling is I'm going to land on the root, the F, or the third, or the fifth, really, more often than not. Okay, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Third. Okay, so I wasn't really thinking about it too much, but I was trying to stay pretty inside of it. So I guess there I was playing, really landing on the root, third and fifth almost every 2 bars, like the rhythm changes course. If you don't know it, I sort of teach you to sort of land on the root of the chord and the third of the chord every 2 bars, and then the fifth too. Now the fifth comes into play more, I think, with this sus chord, because it's more open and it can be less tied to that major thing. So the fifth comes into play too. So I found myself landing on that C a lot every 2 bars or every 4 bars, and so I think that's a really good thing to practice, is to get the notes of that F7 or the C minor Dorian or whatever, you know, that it's B flat major scale if you want to take it to its roots, and make sure that you land on the root, third, fifth of the F chord, right? The F, the A, or the C. Start seeing if you can land on it every 2 bars, you know. And I'm doing some chromatic notes, and definitely that B comes into play, the sharp 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, root. Reet, reet. 5. Third. 5. 1. 3. Root. So I was landing on root, third and fifth every 2 bars, and then you can explore more with other chord tones after you've kind of got that. But if you have that under your fingers, then you know that you're never far away from sort of delineating the chord if it gets a bit out. Now obviously if you listen to Passion Dance, McCoy is playing that pentatonic and you know, outside stuff, so there's room for chromaticism in there, because he is playing a lot of, like I said, a lot of that kind of chromatic E flat minor pentatonic or G flat, you know, pentatonic along with the F and other stuff. So there's great room for sort of interpreting that. So everything, again, the point is, it's about what's going on around you and what the players are playing. So yeah, that's a quick lesson on sus chords. And again, just to reiterate, I'm just thinking about it in different ways. F7, C minor, melodic minor. Yeah, that third is really in play, and it's a sus chord. Now, if the piano player is really hinting at minor stuff, then or bluesy stuff, then that major third is really strong in my perception. Sorry, it's not great English, but I'm really aware of that, and I talk a bit about that in the rhythm changes course with regards to I think Sonny Rollins playing on rhythm changes, and he sort of goes in between playing the changes, he goes into, and then he starts playing the changes, every chord change with the diminished chords and the passing chords, then he goes playing just a major scale like B flat major, really melodically major, and then he starts playing the blues scale too, and I can really hear that difference, and I would change my note choices. If I hear something bluesy, then that brings in the whole, you know, if I hear some F blues stuff going in the soloing or the comping, then I've got all these other notes. Especially D flat, you know, I've got all these kind of minor cadences there I can start using too. But yeah, but it's a difficult thing walking on, I know I've said this a lot before, but it's really hard just walking on one chord, keeping those 8-bar forms and making it interesting. And I guess starting landing on the root, third and fifth every 2 bars is a great place with that F7, dominant 7. I might use the major 7 as a passing note, but yeah, that's it basically, sus chords, very brief.